guys, welcome back to Chiquel's YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and I wear wigs. And guess what, you guys? They are so stinking fun. They're probably my absolute favorite thing on this planet, besides cookies. I really like cookies. But other than cookies, I love wigs. But I haven't always loved wigs because I used to be so terrified of them. I think back to the beginning of my wig wearing journey back in 2011, and it was probably the scariest thing I have ever done. So that's what I'm here today to talk to you about. I want to give you some advice to help you get through the scary part of wig wearing, because to be honest, it is absolutely terrifying. And I know exactly how you feel because I was there once too. So stick with me here because we're gonna talk about some ways that are gonna help you get over that big scary mountain and onto the other side of acceptance and confidence and love for yourself and your wig journey. So before I dive into it, I will tell you that I am wearing a wig right now. And this is called Sage by Rene of Paris. And this is in the color Mochaccino Rooted. It is a lovely synthetic piece, and I will have a review of this piece up soon, so make sure you check back for that. So if you're brand new to the wig wearing world, then this video is probably for you. And if you are new, drop me a comment below and say hi and give me a little bit of your story. I'd love to connect with you and hear a little bit about you. You know, when I think back to the first time I got my very first wig, the thing that scared me the most was actually putting that wig on and wearing it out into the wild, out where there were people. Because heaven forbid, if somebody called me out and said, "Are you wearing a wig?" I would have died right there on the spot. Like, I would have been deceased. Dig my grave for me, please, because that would have been the absolute worst thing in the history of the world to happen. So to be able to get out that door with that wig on your head is so scary. And in order to do that, there's a few things that I would recommend that you try doing before you even venture out of your house. Something that's really important to do when you're very new to wigs is the very first wig you order should look as similar as it can to the hair that you're used to. So if you always had long blonde hair growing up and before your hair loss, then get a wig that's going to resemble it as much, because that's going to help you feel the most at home and the most comfortable within yourself right off the bat. However, just know that whenever you get that wig and put it on your head, it's still going to feel super weird. It's going to feel like you're placing a foreign object on your head, and you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and you're likely going to be a little bit alarmed. Now, a reason you might be a little bit alarmed is because likely you have experienced hair loss. So the reason you're getting a wig is because you have lost enough hair to know that you're not feeling great about yourself and to feel like you need a solution. So when you get that wig and put it on your head, it's right off the bat gonna feel like you have a lot of hair on your head, even if it's a low density wig, because you are so used to seeing yourself in a different light. You're used to seeing yourself with hair loss. You're used to seeing yourself with not very much hair on your head. So anything you put on your head after that is just gonna be a little bit of a shocker. Now, once you've put that wig on your head and you've gone through that initial shock, then I don't want you to take it off. I want you to go to a mirror and stare at yourself for about 500 bajillion hours until you feel a little bit more settled within yourself. And after you've looked at yourself in the mirror, still don't take it off. I want you to get your phone out and take selfies. Yes, you are going to take selfies because that's going to allow you to see yourself in the way that someone else might see you. And yes, it's still going to look weird in the selfie, but if you go around your house, take a selfie here, take a selfie there, go into the corner, take a selfie over there, take a selfie in your kitchen, take a selfie on the couch, take a selfie at the front door, everywhere. Just take a whole bunch of selfies and then scroll through and look at them and look at them and look at them and look at them some more, because you're gonna then start to get used to seeing yourself in a different way and seeing yourself the way others might see you. Now, of course, this isn't just going to make you feel better about yourself in a day. This might take you a few days, it might take you a few weeks, it might even take you a few months. We are all on our own journey, and the time that it takes you to start feeling comfortable with something is completely different than the time it takes someone else. The most important thing is that you give yourself grace, because you are going through a huge change in your life. Wearing wigs is not something that comes easily, and it's not something that we accept easily. You need to allow yourself some time to feel your feelings and to feel sad and to start feeling like you're okay with it. Now, while you're busy taking all these selfies and staring at yourself in the mirror a million times, something else I really want you to do is play around with the wig. Don't be afraid to do stuff to it. I suggest not to just put it on your head and leave it that way and go, because chances are, if you play around with it, you're gonna find a way that it works even better for you. Make sure you brush it out. Play around with your part if it's a wig that allows you to change the part. If it's a wig that allows you to add heat to it, add heat to it. Style it in a different way. Put it in a ponytail. I put mine in a ponytail. Put it in half up, half down. Use a clip, see what it looks like with a clip back. Try all sorts of different things until you find a way that you're like, this is okay. I like this. Now, once you start feeling a little bit more comfortable with yourself in your own house, then comes the next step. And the next step is venturing out into the wild, out into the world. However, it doesn't necessarily need to be out into the world where people are. This needs to happen slowly, in my opinion, because if you just plop your wig on and head out, chances are you might get a little bit of an anxiety attack. You might be walking around with your heart beating a million times an hour, thinking that everybody is staring at your hairline. So I don't want you to do that right away. We need to dip our toes in slowly. That's gonna help settle you into this new life that you have and make you feel much better. So here's what I suggest. One thing that you could start doing is just getting into your car and driving around. Don't even get out of your car. Just try to feel what it's like to get out of your house in a safe place. And your car is going to be a safe place because no one's going to be staring at you. No one's going to be face to face with you. No one is going to be able to talk to you. So going in your car, going for a drive around is going to give you a little taste of what it's like to go out into the world with your wig on. Something else you could do if you're feeling a little bit more brave is go for a walk. However, I suggest going for a walk in a different neighborhood than your own. Because if you're gonna go for a walk in your own neighborhood, chances are you might run into a neighbor. You might run into somebody you know. But if you go in a different neighborhood, you're likely not gonna see anyone you know. And the chances of someone stopping and saying hello to you are very slim. You wanna be able to go into a space where you know that you can just be by yourself and pass by whoever is there. Now, if you are feeling brave enough to go for a walk, then I want you to know this. If anybody passes you, please know that the first thing that they're not gonna notice about you is your hair. That is gonna be the absolute last thing that they're gonna notice. They're gonna walk past you, probably look you in the eyes, nod and say, hello, hope you're having a nice day. And then they're gonna carry on. They're not gonna stand there, stare at your hairline and inspect you. So please know that going for a walk is a very safe thing to do with a wig on. The next thing I suggest you do is try going to get gas or running an errand or going to get groceries. However, again, do these things on the other side of town, not in a spot where you might run into Sue Johnson from yoga class in the vegetable aisle. So go somewhere where you're pretty sure you're not gonna know anybody. All right, so we've looked at ourselves in the mirror a million times. We've taken selfies of ourselves around the house. We've ventured into the wild, but with strangers. The next step you're going to take, and this might be the most important step in helping your confidence out, but probably the hardest. So it's really tricky to get here, but I really want you to try this out. This step is talking to somebody about the fact that you have decided that you want to wear wigs now. And this is a really hard step for us because for some reason, we have all these preconceived notions in our brain about what someone else is going to think of us if we choose alternative hair as a solution. It's a really horrible feeling knowing that the beauty standards society has set out for us we just haven't been able to meet them, and we have to go to wigs. Like, that just makes us feel like we don't belong and like we have done something wrong. But at the end of the day, we've done nothing wrong. We do belong, and it's just a wig. So once you've started to build up the courage a little bit, I want you to make a list of several people in your life that you would like to talk to about this. You know, your best friend, your mom, your dad, your husband, your cousin, a coworker that you're close with. Make a list of a few people that you think would be accepting and make you feel comfortable about the situation. You know, for me, once I started talking about this to the people in my life that I love and who loved me, that opened a whole new world, because when I spilled the beans about my wigs, they greeted me with so much love and acceptance that I was so blown away by it. I didn't know what to do. I suddenly started to realize that they don't love me for my hair. They love me for me and who I am as a person, and my hair has absolutely nothing to do with that. And not only did they reassure me that I am loved because of the person I am, they also made me feel confident with my wigs because they were jealous of my wigs. They did not even know for a second that I was wearing a wig. They just thought I had awesome hair. So they were like, I want in on this. I want to start wearing wigs because your hair is amazing. So getting that reassurance from the people in my life who I care about, and knowing that they care about me and don't care about my hair, that was seriously everything to me. And once I talked to all of those close people in my life, then I made a huge decision to stop hiding and to stop living in shame with my wigs. And I announced my wig wearing to pretty much the whole world by making a Facebook post about my journey. I just woke up one day and said, enough is enough. I am tired of being scared. I am tired of worrying about people inspecting my hairline and looking at my head to see if I'm wearing a wig, even though nobody does that. Like, if you think about it, have you ever gone up to somebody in a grocery store and been like, let me look at your hair, let me look at your head? No, we've never done that before. People never do that. They just pass on by you. And I think one really important thing to know is that everyone else is so wrapped up in their own world that they don't really care about you, which is, I mean, a harsh thing to say, but it's true. They don't really care about the person walking by them at the mall. They're just minding their own business, and they don't care enough to care about your hair. And for me personally, that Facebook post I made was huge, because not only did I realize that the people I care about and the people I love care about me, I suddenly realized that all of the other people in my life, you know, the acquaintances, old colleagues, people from high school 20 years ago, all of those people, they were in awe. They were in awe of my confidence in that moment to make that post. They were in awe of my wig that I shared. They were just generally so pleased to see me share this. And the most amazing thing that happened was that once I shared my journey with hair loss and alopecia and wigs, suddenly people started sharing their hair loss journey with me. And I became the person that they came to because they suddenly realized that they aren't alone, because I had a voice and I shared my voice. But what I want you guys to know is that you are not alone in feeling anxious or worried or scared about wearing wigs. That is a general feeling across the board from pretty much anyone who's ever worn wigs, especially who's worn wigs due to hair loss. And all I can say to you is give yourself time. Go through these steps. Make yourself feel comfortable in your own skin and in your own wig. Because if you try to push yourself before you're ready, that's what's going to cause even more fear. I started wearing wigs in 2011, and it wasn't until 2014, almost 3.5 years later, that I started to let loose and feel okay about it. So it took me a while. And for you, It might take a month, it might take 2 months, it might take 2 years, it might take 10 years. Either way, like I mentioned earlier, we are all on our own journey. Please don't compare your journey to anybody else's, because this is your own path and you make your own decisions and you feel your own feelings. Don't compare your timeline to anybody else's. We all need to do what makes us feel the best. As they say, you do you. So go get that wig out of the box, put it on your head, and go stare at yourself in the mirror and let me know how it goes. I am wishing you guys all the best on your wig journey, and just know that if you need to reach out to anyone, I'm here. I've had 12 years of wig wearing experience, and I am just so in love with helping anyone I can throughout this journey. Hopefully this gave you a little bit more confidence to try out your wig and a little bit of reassurance that everything is gonna be okay. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.